Ketika mana orang-orang kafir nak diseksa Allah dan meminta dipanjangkan hayat mereka, Allah memberikan satu soalan kepada semua ahli neraka. Bukankah kami telah memberikan masa yang cukup, memanjangkan umur kamu di dunia dulu untuk kamu berfikir bagi mereka yang nak berfikir, dan kamu telah didatangkan An-Nazir, iaitu peringatan, yakni Rasulullah SAW.
Jadi kehidupan yang 1000 tahun lebih tu pun umpama macam aku masuk rumah tu pintu depan, jalan sikit keluar balik pintu belakang.
Baik.
Ia nak menggambarkan betapa singkatnya masa yang ada.
Semayang tak jaga, puasa, ibadah, semua dia tak jaga. Maka ketika tua, Allah tidakkan menjaganya.
Ya, terpukul ibu dia dengan apa yang anak dia tulis. Jadi kita nak tengok kat mana sebenarnya titik yang menjadikan manusia yang keras hati tu boleh terima.
Manusia yang paling bertuah ialah Allah sayang pada dia, Allah bagi dia faham agama walaupun baru 40.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma 'allimni ma jahiltu wa zakkirni ma nasitu. Apa khabar semua? Terima kasih kerana memilih The Amin Idris Show pada malam ini. Terima kasih semua kerana komen, like dan share. Seteruskan komen, like and share. Share di Facebook anda, share di grup Facebook. Boleh juga copy link dan forward dekat kawan-kawan, dekat grup WhatsApp dan sebagainya, supaya ramai orang yang akan dapat manfaat dan faedah perkongsian pada malam ini. And apa khabar anda semua? Anda semua, ada yang mungkin daripada rumah, ada yang mungkin masih lagi di pejabat barangkali, kena stay back ke apa, wallahualam. Tapi yang pastinya Selangor ni masih lagi wajib work from home. Tapi Rami difahamkan dah ada dah pun dia dah mula masuk pejabat. But it's okay. So teruskan komen, like dan share. So nak tengok juga penonton-penonton kita pada malam ni, boleh tak tolong bagi tahu anda dari mana, dan tolong bagi tahu clear ke tak suara Beramin, clear ke tak muka Beramin, right? Sebab takut punyalah sembang kau-kau tak ada orang dengar rupanya. Okay. So waalaikumsalam Kak Su, apa khabar Kak Su? Kan this is my beloved sister, masya-Allah. Dialah makhluk yang bertanggungjawab bawa saya dekat Astro. Ramlah Idris, waalaikumsalam dari Terengganu. Apa khabar Puan Ramlah? Right? Kita nak tengok siapa lagi penonton-penonton yang sedang menonton. Oh, Abu Amir. Saya dari kedai Char Kway Teow. Okey. Kedai tu kat mana bro? Kedai Char Kway Teow tu. Sedap barangkali kan? Abu Ziad. Fardu dibaca padu. Itu cara sebutan baru Padu bro. Padu guys. Memang padu. Fardu Alright. Seterusnya kita ada Hamidah Rapai dari Sibu Sarawak. Kita sihat. Puan Hamidah baru sahaja selesai perbicaraan beliau dengan Syekh Abu Syafiq. Haslina Ali. Kak Azlina, apa khabar Kak Azlina? Dari Seri Al-Munawwarah. Rindu air Rabina daripada kedai Kak Azlina. Kak Azlina. Zulkhairi Kamarul Zaman. Wow, Amin in the house. Apa khabar? Ni sahabat lama saya di Falahiyah, di UIA. Zulkhairi, apa khabar? Lama kita tak makan roti canai bersembah rok di stage sembah. Hamizi Yusuf. Waalaikumsalam brother. Alright. Kita ada juga Syazwana Rasid. Waalaikumsalam dari Puchong. Puchong clear Kawan ni Zulkhairi. Tak okay, kawan tak kenal demo. Zulkhairi KZ tu Kamarul Zaman. Tak. Zulkhairi ni antara manusia yang menjadi mangsa saya pinjam motor sewaktu di UIA dulu. Okay. Look forward to this interesting session insyaAllah. Razlin. Thank you Razlin. Razlan. Topik kita malam ni, anak-anak dah tidur ke Bro Amin? Belum lagi, dia orang kat bawah tengah layan cerita Penthouse. Saya setakat ni belum lagi kena racun lah. Terselamat. Jamie Osman, waalaikumsalam. Alumni CPH, apa khabar? Terbaik, certified professional host. Ini antara student saya. Right. Kemah Keming, Abul Aish Az-Zahabi. Masya Allah. Okay, topik kita malam ni adalah tentang hijrah seorang public figure. Sebab kita lihat di Malaysia ni, fenomena hijrah public figure di kalangan artis, selebriti, siapa lagi, Ratu Cantik, sangat bagus. Cuma ada beberapa kritikan daripada masyarakat akhir-akhir ni bila mereka melihat public figure yang dulunya selebriti, yang dulunya mungkin Ratu Cantik, tak kira lah siapa-siapa lah. Bila hijrah tu bagus dah, cuma kadang-kadang dia keluar statement-statement yang pelik, kadang-kadang menghukum orang lain, kadang-kadang menghentam orang lain, seolah-olah bahawa dia ni dah tahu segalanya. So, bagaimana cara hijrah? Sebab tu saya bawa tetamu kita pada malam ni. Beliau dulu merupakan bekas peserta Miss Teen USA and juga merupakan bekas peserta Miss Thailand. Saya kenal dia lama dah. Beliau pernah menjadi tetamu di Assalamualaikum di TV Al-Hijrah dulu. So, malam ni kita akan bawakan beliau dan difahamkan beliau sedang belajar bahasa Melayu. So, kita akan uji tahap mana kehebatan bahasa Melayu Aliza Kim pada malam ni, kan? Dan Brahmi nak ajar dia kecek Kelantan malam ni. Kita tengok setengah mana dah. Alright, Abul Aish Az-Zahabi tu, kalau tak silap Ambo Azim Hakimin tak? Okay, so thank you Rahilz Naimuaz. Waalaikumsalam. Fauziah Omar dari Singapura, Masya Allah. So Aliza Kim, we have viewers from Singapore tonight, Masya Allah. So, sebelum kita teruskan, kita nak macam biasa ada segmen M1 ataupun motivasi 1 minit. So, without further ado, jom kita tengok segmen M1.
Assalamualaikum. Hai guys. Bagaimana cara untuk membuat perubahan dalam hidup, perubahan dalam diri ataupun dalam istilah Islamik, bagaimana cara untuk berhijrah? Caranya ialah dengan membuat keputusan. Apakah itu keputusan? Dalam bahasa Inggeris, keputusan bermaksud decision. Decision datang dari perkataan decide. Dan decide sebenarnya adalah perkataan Latin iaitu dikaide. Maksud dikaide ialah to cut. Ya, to cut. Bayangkan tali bila kena potong, apa akan jadi? Putus. Dan orang Melayu kata keputusan. Dalam bahasa Arab, membuat keputusan artinya qata'an. Qata'an datang dari perkataan qata'a yang juga bermaksud putus. Oleh itu, untuk melakukan perubahan, kita mesti buat keputusan. Aku nak jaga solat. That's it. Itu namanya keputusan. Aku nak fokus dalam pelajaran. That's it. Itu keputusan. Dia akan jadi alasan bila ada perkataan tapi. Aku nak berhenti merokok. Tapi. Aku nak jaga solat. Tapi. Daripada keputusan, dia sudah menjadi alasan. So, anda nak buat perubahan, anda nak berhijrah, buat keputusan, bukannya alasan.
So buat keputusan bukannya alasan, alright? So everybody want to change, but to change we must make a decision. Kak Aslina, a very inspiring person. Masya Allah, thank you Kak Aslina. Kak Aslina, lama tak jumpa. Kita insyaAllah nak pergi ziarah Sri Al-Munawarah. Dah buka kan? Right? Aryas Musashi. Yeah, saya Amin Idris. Decide Puan Ramlah. Thank you Puan Ramlah. Alright. Kita ada Sirajuddin buat keputusan bukan alasan. Dan kita ada juga siapa? Oh, Masya Allah. Ada Nasrullah Al-Qadahi. Decide. Alhamdulillah. Ini ada Tok Guru saya. Ini antara mentor saya sejak daripada Falayah dulu. Iaitu Al-Fadil Ustaz Muhammad Rafiq Yusof. Waalaikumsalam, Baing. Ini dia antara nakib terawal saya daripada SMK Falayah. Siapa nak tahu tentang public goal ke apa benda pasal emas ni, boleh tanya beliau. Klik dekat Facebooknya, Muhammad Rafiq Yusof, boleh check it out. Okay? Alright, so tanpa melengahkan masa, kita nak ke segmen diskusi iaitu tentang Hijrah, seorang bekas Ratu Cantik Miss Teen USA, Miss Thailand yang sudah memeluk Islam, sudah berhijrah. So kita mulakan segmen yang ditunggu-tunggu iaitu segmen diskusi. Assalamualaikum, Aliza. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Hi, Amin. Hi, everyone.
I believe you are at home, right? Not in anywhere else, right?
Oh, no, I'm at home. As you can see, my blue curtain here.
Alright, so untuk makluman yang sedang menonton, kita akan berbahasa Inggeris dicampur juga dengan bahasa Melayu sikit-sikit. Aliza, I'm telling the viewers that we'll be speaking in English, but with the mixture of Malay a little bit, because I believe you are still learning in Bahasa, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, little, very so little.
Can you say so little in Malay?
Sikit, sikit.
Okay, that's good. Ting 10 marks. All right. So we have quite a lot of viewers tonight. Among others, mashallah, among others, we have Muhammad Anas. He said, comelnya. I think you understand what's the meaning of comelnya.
Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Inshallah. Suhaini Omar, she said, hi Aliza, a long time no see. How are you? Suhaini Omar, do you remember her? Because she was in TV Al Hijrah. She also in Astro before. And now in Celcom. I think you will recall her later on.
Yeah, later on. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Aliza, all right. Before we go deeper about yourself, all right. First and foremost, can you share to us where were you born and what made you to involved in this beauty pageant?
I was born in Enid, Oklahoma, so that's in the middle of cowboy country in America.
Right.
How I got into the pageants is I didn't really choose to be involved myself, actually. When I was 14, I think, I was in a finishing school. So it's a finishing school, modeling acting school called Barbizon. So it's like a John Robert Powers. It was a chain of these kinds of schools because I was not very talkative at that time. So my mother wanted me to become more outgoing. So I was put into this school to learn etiquette, to learn how to walk, to learn how to talk, how to, do everything. And somehow that school was also a part of the organizers for Miss Teen Massachusetts. So that's part of the Miss Teen USA pageant. And I guess being one of their students, they observed me and they invited me to be their representative for that year. So I wasn't really looking for it. I was kind of asked. And I said, okay, I guess I can try.
And what kind of try? Because you really made it, right?
I mean, I did well enough in the state. I didn't go to the finals for the country, but I did okay in the state, alhamdulillah. I mean, I'm not very tall. I'm not very beauty pageant height. But alhamdulillah, I can speak and I can carry myself. So yeah, it was an experience. It's definitely an experience.
All right. And before we go further about this beauty pageant, I believe a lot of us want to know about your education, because I can see you are a person who has beauty with brain.
Mashallah.
So where do you get your education?
Okay, so I got my education completely in Amerika. Alhamdulillah, I kept finishing school a half a year early. So I finished high school a half year early, and then I went to Boston College, which is a 4-year degree, and I got a double degree. So I have sociology and economics, bachelor's degree, and then I went on to immediately to a master's degree in business, international business. Again, I graduated half year early, so I graduated very early 20s. I had my master's degree, and then alhamdulillah.
You have your double degree and your master degree during your early 20s.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. I was competing with my father. My father has a bachelor's degree, 2 master's degree, and a PhD. So I didn't get my PhD yet, but maybe one day, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah. And then alhamdulillah, after I became a Muslim, I did get my diploma in Islamic studies as well, and now a candidate for the advanced diploma, inshallah. But I'm stuck a little bit because I have to memorize one juz. That's a little bit challenging for me. That's part of the requirement. So, but yeah, working on it.
So you have to memorize one juzu, is it? In Surah Al-Baqarah, right?
No, any one juz, I think. I mean, I could do juz amma, but it's still one juz.
It's okay. All right. And I know most of us want to know about your journey as a Muslim. But before we go towards there, you were Miss Teen USA and you were also Miss Thailand.
Yeah.
Which was in 2 different countries.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I have dual citizenship. I know in some countries that's not possible, but America and Thailand, you can have dual citizenship during those days anyway. So when I was 16, I did Miss Teen USA. And then when I was early 20s, so right after my master's degree, and I got my heart broken. I wasn't a Muslim then, so don't judge me. But I got my heart broken. And my father was like, okay, why don't you come back to Thailand and have a break? So I went back to Thailand and had my break. And it just so happened that my dad was called away to a meeting in Switzerland at that time. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do without my dad for a month? You know, so of course I'm watching TV and the Miss Thailand pageant comes up on TV, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can do that because I have a family friend who became Miss Thailand. So I was like, okay, it's possible. Maybe I can do something. But I mean, I looked at it as another experience. So this time I chose it. And we found someone who is a pageant trainer. Again, I'm not beauty queen height, but alhamdulillah, I made it to the very last round. At that time, I didn't speak Thai fluently yet, so I'm not surprised that I didn't win. But it's okay. I'm glad that the person who won deserved it. She absolutely deserved it. And I'm just very blessed to have made it to the very last round. It was definitely a beautiful experience. Learned a lot. I didn't know that beauty pageants taught more than just walking. I mean, they were talking about finances and women's empowerment and all these kind of things. So I was like, okay, this is good.
MashaAllah. My mother is a Siamese as well, but I'm not sure whether I still have this Thai language. So you do correct me when I ask you, try to answer it, all right? ชื่ออะไรครับ
ชื่อลิสค่ะ
โอ้ อยู่ที่ไหน
อยู่ที่บ้านจ้ะ แล้วอามินล่ะอยู่ที่ไหน
อยู่ระหว่าง
โอ้อยู่ที่
อยู่ระหว่าง I forgot already. If thank you in Thai means ครับผม or I'm sorry, is it ครับผม
ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณครับ is thank you. What is
ขอโทษครับ
ขอโทษ MashaAllah. I almost forget most of the languages because my mom taught me in Siamese as well. Right. Okay. Oh, one of our viewers said, jam, cakap siam. If how much in Thai means tolai kap, is it?
Correct. Alhamdulillah.
Yes. Yes. uh, pineapple, sapalot, sapalot. Is it
Yes.
pineapple? I remember.
Saparot.
Sapalot.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Ao king cow, ao mai ao.
Gin cow. Mai
Cow.
ow.
Mai ao. Okay, that's it. I give up. Mai die. Okay, now when you were in this beauty pageant, you said that it is more than catwalk, so on and so forth. What are the main things that you learn from this competition? Because I believe there are also lot of beneficiaries that you can learn as well, right?
Mm-mm. Well, there were a lot of workshops, but I think what I learned most from these pageants is mostly from the friends that I was there with. I mean, the Miss Teen USA was really cutthroat. I mean, these girls were basically beauty pageant type girls, and they were very confident. Whereas I was just like, okay, I'm here for the experience. But I mean, they showed me that working hard and being committed to something can start very young. So that's what I learned from those girls. I mean, I was even scared of them, of how determined they were. But I mean, they taught me something, about determination and working hard towards something. But in terms of the Miss Thailand pageant, I mean, we were all grown up already. We were all in our 20s. And I looked at these girls, and they came from all walks of life. I mean, we had girls from the village, and then others who, just came back from overseas studying, going towards their PhD, this kind of thing. So it was girls from all walks of life. But the beautiful thing was that everyone put aside their differences and decided to support one another. I mean, we were there to compete, but at the same time, everyone was so supportive. I mean, we would stay. The time schedule for these pageants were just crazy. I don't know how they expect people to be like so glamorous and beautiful by the end of this thing, because I remember we were up until 1 a.m. because at night they wanted us to practice our routines and whatever it was, and then we would get up at around 6 so that we can go and meet the sponsors and whatnot. So we only slept maybe 4 or 5 hours a night.
Wow.
And by the end, we were all like dry and haggard and gaining weight and all these things. But anyway, aside from that, I mean, when one girl got a package, we would share it with everyone, or if someone sent us tea, whatever kind of tea it was, we would share it with everyone. If one girl broke down during a rehearsal, everyone would come and help her. If someone couldn't keep up with some of the workshops, we would go and help her. So I think that was something that was really beautiful, that you can be in a pageant, in a race, in something where you want to do your best but still support each other as young women. I thought that was really beautiful.
So in such a way, it corrects our perception that this beauty pageant competition is not about catwalk, it's not about glamorous per se, it's all about your character, your personality, and your brain, is it?
Yes. So I mean, there is of course some catwalk. I mean, it is still a beauty pageant.
For sure.
This kind of thing. But I mean, there's more to it. There's definitely more to it. Yeah.
All right. So now let us move forward. All right.
Yes.
What made you become a Muslim?
Okay. Well, I guess the simple answer is that I believe that it's the truth. And then the second supporting answer is that I believe in the rules and regulations. So people are always surprised that, when I tell them why I became a Muslim, and it's because of the rules. I like the rules because when I was searching for something to anchor myself, some way to please God so that I could be happy, I felt like my life was very gray area. I didn't know if, doing 1, 2, and 3 is okay. I mean, 1, 2, and 3 for some groups is okay. For some groups, it's not okay. So is it okay or not? I'm not sure. So Islam gave me more of a structure so that I know what is halal, what is haram, and whatever is not mentioned is something that can be flexible. So that helps me a lot to know what I'm doing in life, and what I'm doing is pleasing Allah or not. As a Christian, for example, I'll give you an example. So for a Christian, I mean, for a girl who used to like to go clubbing because I like to dance. So as a girl who liked to dance, I would go clubbing, and you wear whatever you wear to the club, and you do whatever you do in the club, and then the next day you go to church. And I always thought, is that okay? I'm not sure if that's okay. Maybe it's not okay, but I'm not sure, because I mean, as a Christian, it's okay. Yeah. So, or as a Muslim, you have a structure in terms of how you worship Allah. You have your 5 daily prayers and whatnot. But then as a Christian, of course, we have our own way to pray, and it's a beautiful way to pray. You're still connecting to God. But if you miss it for a month, nothing happens. And I feel like if you're not connected to God at least daily, then are you really connected to God or not? I mean, you can have that self-discipline, but I always felt like having it in a system where you have a complete way of life it just makes more sense.
And you were Muslim when you were, how old were you?
Do I have to tell you? It's been 8 years.
It's been 8 years. Okay, that's it. No further question.
Yeah.
And when you become a Muslim, do you remember the moment when you first recite the Shahada? Can you share us your feelings, what else? The moment in particular?
Yeah. That moment is very special. I'm just going to recap just a teeny bit before that. I mean, leading up to that, there's a lot of emotion. It's like, am I really sure? Is this really happening? What's going on? And then there's the click. It's like some people plan it, right? Some people plan their Shahada. They choose a date, a time. They invite people. For me, I wasn't supposed to take Shahada that day. I didn't plan it. It just happened through a conversation with the ustad that was at the center that day. So for me, there was a lot of emotion. Was, oh my gosh, I don't know everything yet. Is that okay? I didn't tell my parents yet. Is that okay? I'm worried about them. But there was a moment when I felt like, okay, this is the truth. I know it is the truth. I've already accepted it. And if God really wants me to become something, whatever it is, can I stop him? Definitely not. And if this is something that he feels that is good for me, will he help me with my parents? Will he help me with my friends? For sure. As long as I'm sincere, definitely he will help me. So once those thoughts kind of came into my mind, I decided, okay, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to declare my Shahada. And once I did, and I think other reverts have mentioned this sensation as well. As soon as you say the Arabic version, you don't understand it yet. So it's just repeating the sounds after the ustad. But then when you say it in the language that you understand, so for me it was English, there was a sensation that was a tingling from the top of my hands. And I get chills every time. I have chills now. You get it from the top of your head, and you tingle, and it's as though you get this washing all throughout from your body, from the top of your head to your toes. And it's like, it really feels like Allah has cleansed you of your previous life and preparing you for the new life. So after that, I remember my ears were ringing. Like if you remember in the old days when the TV station would go off at like whatever. So I had that a little bit. And then I remember like everything was in pink sepia for a while. I was like, okay, everything is over happy. I was just over happy for 3 months maybe. So yeah, that tingling, and then that ears, and then the feeling, and then even the vision. My vision was like, whoa, okay. So yeah, so that was the moment and a little bit more.
MashaAllah. You reverted to Islam in Malaysia or in Thailand or in the US?
In Malaysia. Alhamdulillah.
I will be asking you later on why Malaysia, but hold on. When you become a Muslim, was it your name before was Aliza, or you maintain your name Aliza until now, or there were other names before?
No, it was always Aliza. Always Aliza
Mashallah.
from birth. Yep.
MashaAllah. And when you become a Muslim, what were the first thing that you did in order to fulfill your need in terms of your religious need?
Alhamdulillah. I mean, like I said, the moments leading up to my shahada were very confusing and full of like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? What's going to happen with my parents and everything? So I was worried, but I knew even as a Christian that the best way that I would be able to get things answered and, you know, guidance was through prayer. So alhamdulillah, the very first thing that I started to do was offer salah. I couldn't do the recitation, but I immediately started to do the movements. So after shahada, there was immediately after shahada was basically dhuhr for that day. So someone actually showed me wudu. I didn't even know what's wudu, and I was doing it after that, and it was all wrong. They're like, no, don't do this, but do this. Okay, I'll do it. So I made wudu, and then when I went to pray, I was standing next to a sister, and I remember looking at her. I was like, what am I doing? And even with sujood, I was looking like this. What do I do next? So that happened. And then after that, I went over to another sister's house. And I remember there were 5 sisters there. So it's my first time. The first time praying was at the Islamic Center with the male ustad. The second time praying was with 5 sisters with the female imam. And they taught me the movements. They taught me to make dua in sujood. And I did it ever since. I did it 5 times a day. Yes, sometimes I would be late, but I would still do it. So I started to pray immediately. And inshallah, as far as my memory serves me, I have never missed salah from the very first time that I offered salah. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. May Allah bless you, Aliza.
Amin,
And
Amin.
usually for those who reverts, among their main challenges, among their main obstacles was their parents. Usually, but it is quite different for you, right?
Yeah, very.
Before you answer this question, let's have a little bit short break, because I would like to announce to all viewers, I'll be organizing an online course, which is how to be a moderator, precisely in the arts of questioning the panelists. All right, so let's check it out, this video. So for those who are interested, tercakap orang putih pula. So pada mereka yang berminat nak join, boleh klik dekat link, saya akan pin dekat ruangan komen. Programnya hari Sabtu nanti pukul 10 hingga pukul 12 tengah hari sampai pukul 1 tengah hari secara online. So siapa berminat boleh daftar dekat link yang saya akan pin dekat ruangan komen. Okay, Aliza, let's continue our discussion. Before we go further about Ramadan, so on and so forth. All right. What were the reaction of your parents? Because this story is very inspiring. I believe many people want to know, and trust me, they will be inspired.
Mashallah. Okay, yes. So one of the things that we know about new Muslims is that Allah will definitely test you in a very tough way to see if you're sincere in becoming a Muslim. Some people are tested one way, another way, and most people are tested with family. But alhamdulillah, I was not. But I knew that a lot of people would be tested with family, and so I was terrified. And I actually made a plan so that I was hoping that I wouldn't be tested. And alhamdulillah, I'll tell you the story now. So so my father, if you guys don't know, he's also a religious leader in the Christian faith. He's not Catholic. We're not Catholic. So we're Protestant, so that he can get married. So a lot of people ask that. How come he got married? No, Protestants can get married. Please don't have that misconception. So, but I was very worried since he is also a religious leader. And then, I was worried about my mom. So when I learned how to pray, like what I told you guys, the very first day, my second imam was a woman, a sister, and she told me that the best time to pray was in sujud. So since I knew that, I started to make a plan that, I decided that every single sujud, I would try to make a dua so that Allah will help me. It was already in my heart that, Ya Allah, if you want me to do this is before Shahada, leading up to it. Ya Allah, if you want me to do this, please help me with my parents. That was already in my heart. So then the second step was once I learned that sujud was a great time to ask Allah for anything, I started to make dua to Him. And my dua after every single salah would be, this is the exact words. There's more to this story, but I'll tell you this part first. So the exact words that I would say was, Ya Allah, please soften my parents' heart to accept me as a Muslim daughter. Those were the exact words. So I would say that without fail, every single salah. So you can imagine I became a Muslim in January, and then I gave myself a 1-year deadline. So that's 12 months. Every single salah, I would say that prayer. Every single salah, because I was so terrified. I really, really, really did not. Number one, I didn't want to hurt my parents. I didn't even think about them disowning me, or I just didn't want to hurt them. I was so terrified of making them disappointed or hurt in any way. It was just, I just couldn't accept hurting them. So I really, really needed this from Allah. But not only that, I also made a plan. And this is, I always felt that spirituality also has to be balanced with a plan in the dunya, so it balances. So not only the dua with salah, but I also made a plan for how to break it to my parents. So I became a Muslim. Like I said, I gave myself 1 year, and I knew that 1 year I would have to educate and make my parents aware in somehow. And so sometimes I share this with university students for, how to break things to your parents. So first you have to know your parents so well that you have to know them best, right? You have to know their personality. You have to know what they might be worried about. So I knew that my parents worked in a certain way. My mom is, she's very passionate and all these kinds of things. And my dad is very calm. He's a religious leader. He's very calm, very steady. So my strategy has always been, I tell dad, dad tells mom. It's always better.
That's the flow.
Yeah. Tell dad tells mom in a much better way than I could possibly tell her. So that was the plan from the beginning. And so I focused on what can I say to dad to help him understand and become aware of my changes. So so first step is tell dad, focus on dad. So the second thing, I had to know what my dad would be interested in. So since he's a religious leader as well, he would definitely be interested in the hereafter, what would happen to me. So I had to make sure that he knew that, this is also a religion of Abraham. We have the same God, the same merciful God. And, I'm going to a beautiful place in the hereafter. But not only that, because of the kind of religious leader my dad is, the other thing that he was very, very concerned with was women's rights. He was very interested in women's rights in Islam. What does Islam say about that? So I started dropping hints here and there. And as I was dropping hints here and there, so January I reverted. Then middle of the year, he had a chance to come visit. So that was when, after hints here and there, I decided, okay, it's time for him to meet my teacher. And I chose that because I wanted to make sure that he knew that I wasn't learning from someone strange or improper. And this is another thing, when you want to break something huge to your parents, you should choose someone. If you're scared like I was, you choose someone who is well respected, someone that they can kind of engage with and that they can feel there's some kind of credibility with. So my sheikh is around the same age as him, with the same level of knowledge, even though different religions, but the same level of knowledge, the same age, the same style of speaking too, both very kind of kind of like, so I paired them together because I was scared. I was so scared, and I just needed that backup. So alhamdulillah, they met, and I could see that my dad was upset, and understandably, because I mean, he was of course also a religious leader, so I'm sure he had many concerns. But the thing is that I realized that aside from the religious concerns, I knew that there was something else that was hurting him a lot, or potentially could hurt him a lot, and that's being a father. Being a father, watching his little girl, and I'm an only child, so even worse. A father watching his daughter, his baby, perhaps change into something that he absolutely does not understand. So my next step after that was to take him the next day on a father-daughter date to Malacca. So he's always wanted to go to Malacca. So I knew that, you know, if I could prove to him that I'm still his little girl, I'm still the same Aliza, but hopefully a little bit better, that he will be calm. So I took him, you know, I took him to eat this and that. And then when it was time to Salah, I mean, I didn't make it hard. I just took him to a cafe with air conditioning. I would just tell him, okay, it's time to rest. You know, we've been walking and I'm going to go. I'll come back in a few minutes. So I will just go very quietly. I wouldn't, you know, make it hard for him or say anything that might make him uncomfortable. And then I would come back and then we would continue on our way. So I remember that day when I picked him up from the hotel, he gave me a piece of paper with a list of questions, this and that, Islam. But then by the end of the day, when we came back from Malacca, he was fine, absolutely fine. He was happy. He felt comfortable. He felt, you know, he felt calm again. So he left on that trip okay. And again, because I know my dad well, alhamdulillah. Yeah. So after that, of course, because I know my dad so well, I left it. I let it germinate. Because I mean, he is a PhD. He'll go and ponder over things. So yeah. So I let it germinate and ferment and everything for a few months, and then fast forward to the end of the year, my time limit, right? So alhamdulillah, I've made all these plans. I've been making how many hundreds of dua, you know, begging Allah to please soften my parents' heart. And then by the end, in December, he came, of course, during Christmas time, because, I mean, we were Christians. It makes sense, right? So, and I stalled all the way until I think almost the last day of his trip. And so I knew, I made a plan again. I knew that a full man is a happy man. So I took him to eat first. And I remember
a full man is a happy man, right? All right. That's good.
So,
good one.
Yeah. So I remember I took him to eat at, no free advertising. I took him to eat somewhere in a shopping center. So some local food in a shopping center to let him try some things. And so then after that, I mean, heart pumping, all these things. And I'm like, Ya Allah, it's time. It's time. It's my deadline is up. It's time.
This is the moment.
Yes. Yes. So this is the moment. So I was like, oh my God, I got to do it now. We finished all our food. Now or never. So, I mean, in Thai, I said, Papa, I need to update you about me and Islam. My exact words. And then after that, he was like, okay, stop, Aliza. And I was like, oh no, stop for what? Stop for what? So then he was like, stop, Aliza. I was like, okay, I stop. What's going on? He's like,
oh my God.
So my face is turning red. So he was like, okay, stop. It's okay. So those words is okay. You know, I've been thinking since the first time I met with your teacher until now, if this religion is a religion that, this is the summary, that anchors your heart, gives you peace, because that's what religion is supposed to do, you go ahead. You go ahead. We have no problem. And he actually said, don't worry about me. Don't worry about mama. Don't worry about our family, because in our family, we have Buddhists, we have Catholic, we have Protestant. So now we'll have a Muslim. So he said, if this religion gives you peace, you go ahead and don't worry about anyone. Just go ahead. Wow. And so that was it. That was all.
And what were your reaction? You were like,
Okay, my
Speechless?
reaction was okay. that that was amazing. Of course, in my head it was like fireworks. Shoot, shoot, shoot. That was amazing. Like the perfect. Yeah, absolutely perfect. And of course, I attribute all of it to all those du'as. You know, it's definitely has to be all those du'as. I mean, can you imagine a father who is also a religious leader?
Yeah.
Just think that. As
Yeah.
easy as that. So it has to be Allah. It has to be those du'as, and I believe it's those du'as. And then what happened with mom, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I was just about to ask that question.
Yeah. So after that, my dad was planning to go see mom right after, because usually he'll come see me, and then after that he'll go see mom. So he went. He went to Boston because that's where my mom is. And they, of course, when he arrives, they always call me. So, okay, I've arrived, I'm safe, everything. And we said goodbye. And then I was like, okay, go and rest. And then we talked another 3 more times, and dad still didn't say anything. So I was like,
All right.
what's going
Okay.
on? My plan is not working. Didn't he say something? So then after the 3rd time, I finally got my courage again. And I was like, Papa, did you tell mama yet? What's going on? How come no one's saying anything to me? So basically, basically what he said was like, yeah, I told her nothing happened. Do you want to talk to her about it? And I was like, no.
Means that he already told her.
Yeah, he already told her. And
nothing happened.
Nothing happened, yeah. Acceptance, complete acceptance happened, but nothing bad like I thought. Nothing bad happened at all. My parents were absolutely accepting of whatever I decided. They also, I suppose they also know my character, that I'll study and choose whatever I choose after good research, this kind of thing. So, but alhamdulillah, they were absolutely supportive. Alhamdulillah. Hey, I see Samantha. Hi, Samantha. She says supportive daddy. Hi, Samantha. Munchie Tang. This is my friend.
You're mashallah.
Yeah,
Welcome, Samantha.
Hi, Samantha. I see Wani too. She calls me Milma because of my kittens. I'm their grandma, so I'm their Milma.
That's cute. Okay. So, what you are doing now, when you become a Muslim and you have supports from your parents, all right? So what you're doing now, and what are the challenges that you face, all right? So before you answer that question, once again, we will have a short break, just within 1 minute, because tomorrow will be Thursday, and usually Thursday is a day for Tazkirah Malam Jumaat. So let's see what will be the topic for tomorrow night. Tazkirah Malam Jumaat. Malam Jumaat buat apa? Dengar Tazkirah. Check it out.
Ketika mana orang-orang kafir nak disiksa Allah dan meminta dipanjangkan hayat mereka, Allah memberikan satu soalan kepada semua ahli neraka. Bukankah kami telah memberikan masa yang cukup, memanjangkan umur kamu di dunia dulu, untuk kamu berfikir bagi mereka yang nak berfikir, dan kamu telah didatangkan An-Nazir, iaitu peringatan, yakni Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Jadi kehidupan yang 1000 tahun lebih tu pun umpama macam aku masuk rumah tu pintu depan, jalan sikit keluar balik pintu belakang.
Baik.
Ia nak menggambarkan betapa singkatnya masa yang ada.
Semayang tak jaga, puasa, ibadah, semua dia tak jaga. Maka ketika tua, Allah tidakkan menjaganya.
Terpukul ibu dia dengan apa yang anak dia tulis. Jadi kita nak tengok kat mana sebenarnya titik yang menjadikan manusia yang keras hati tu boleh terima.
Manusia yang paling bertuah ialah Allah sayang pada dia. Allah bagi dia faham agama walaupun baru 40.
This topic for tomorrow is quite interesting, because it's about when your age comes to 40. And I'm 40 this year. My God. All right. Okay. Aliza.
Full maturity.
Pardon?
Full maturity. Now you are a full man.
Yeah. Thanks. That really helps. Okay. So when you become a Muslim, for sure there will be obstacles, there will be challenges. So can you share some of your most what they call most challenging obstacles?
For me, I think the obstacle first was career choice. I actually left my career in the industry. So the industry at that time, I was TV hosting, I was commercial modeling, and I had several contracts, with Biore, with Sharp, others. So even when they came knocking, I actually, to renew, I would say no, or they wanted to shoot another commercial, whatever, I had to say no, because I just felt at that time that, number one, I didn't feel like it was going to get me closer to Jannah. But also because I had already started putting the hijab on, I already started wearing this, and to renew a contract or reshoot a sequel to a commercial or anything would mean that I would have to take it off. So I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I had to make a lot of changes in career. And I think that, that impacted me financially, of course, but of course, I found fulfillment in a different way. Aside from that, being a new Muslim, I think everyone goes through this. There is quite a lot of feelings of loneliness, since I am the only Muslim in my family and still am. Yeah. So there are definitely, hi sis Jamie, sorry, I just saw it pop up. And other people,
No problem.
hi, everyone saying hi everyone. So those feelings of loneliness are definitely still there, even now sometimes. Simply because you're the only one. And of course, I have so many wonderful sister friends now, and so many supportive non-Muslim friends as well, who love my journey in Islam and are just so supportive. But there are still those times when it's just like, I'm still the only one. And, if there's a celebration with family, I see the pictures of other people's families, but I'm alone.
Allah Akbar. MashaAllah.
So I still since then, since the first time, since the early days until now, there are still times like that. And so the loneliness for a new Muslim is real. So I do try to connect as much as I can, but still, people do invite me to some family gatherings and things, but even there, it's like you're alone, you feel lonely, and then you don't want to impose. You go and you feel like, oh, but I'm imposing. So it's this catch-22 kind of thing. But I think just like a lot of new Muslims, is that loneliness, that feeling of when am I gonna get family?
So how do you overcome that loneliness? How do you overcome those obstacles, those challenges?
I think in the early days, I filled it up with a lot of study. So one of the things that I really, really wanted, even before Shahada, even before I became a Muslim, was I wanted to know a lot, like things in depth. I wanted to know Arabic. I wanted to know all these things before I became a Muslim, because I felt like, okay, if I'm going to have a clean slate, I don't want to mess up from the first day. So, my plan didn't go that way. I still don't know Arabic today, but it's okay. Alhamdulillah, it is the process. I have learned that it is the process that matters. But I filled my time with a lot of study. I think my first Islamic class, even though I didn't even understand like half of it, because I didn't even know the names of the prophets in Arabic, right? I didn't know that Ibrahim is Abraham. I didn't know that Musa is Moses. I don't know. I didn't know that Isa is Jesus. I didn't know. Right. So I went through, my first class was 3 weeks after I said my Shahada. I was invited by a very nice sister that I'm still friends with till today. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless her. Amin. So I started to go to more structured classes. First, it was weekend classes. And then I eventually started the diploma program, which was an intensive program. And I got my Islamic studies diploma. Yeah. So I immersed myself in studies. And that was what kept me going. It was my friend. Of course, Allah is always with me. But because of the knowledge that I was wanting, I craved it and it became addictive. That helped me. It helped to fill my time. Whether it was those classes, at that time I was learning tajweed as well, intensive tajweed. So I was reciting a lot. So Islam was just I was fully immersed. I didn't allow myself to get lonely. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So interesting is that your hijrah, you feel your hijrah with knowledge. You feel your hijrah with studying rather than judging people or do some other things. Alhamdulillah, I hope it will inspire others. Let's throw back a little bit. During your first Ramadan, your first fasting, before we go to the most interesting question, which is why Malaysia. So let's throw back to your first Ramadan. How was it?
My first Ramadan, of course. Okay, so I'll just say it the way that it was. Yeah. So the first Ramadan, I still didn't feel so connected. I was like, oh, there's everyone's so like happy and everyone's so excited. I don't understand, you know, and everyone's stocking up so many dates and all, and I don't understand. And I mean, and of course I just came out of modeling, so I was very thin then, even thinner than now. So I was like, is this gonna be okay? Is it okay for my health? And so of course at suhoor I was eating a lot, and then at maghrib I was eating a lot, and I was drinking lots of water, you know, so that I thought that I would be able to sustain during the day, but I found out the more water that I drank, the more thirsty that I got, and the suhoor that I ate, the more hungry and faster I became hungry faster. So anyway, so that was kind of like managing how I manage the food intake, right? But then I really liked Tarawih. I really liked the night prayers. Yeah, that was really interesting for me. I loved being in a congregation and praying in unison, and I loved the recitations. They were just so beautiful to me. So even when on the days where I couldn't pray, I would still go and I would babysit all the little babies so that the moms could pray. So I still really liked to be in that environment. So but then, of course, at the end of Ramadan is Eid. So for Hari Raya, that loneliness did come again. I remember the first Ramadan, I broke fast all the days of Ramadan alone. And then Eid, also that first Eid, let me think. I did have somewhere to go on the first day of Eid, alhamdulillah. But then after that, there was that loneliness of, okay, first day is done. Alhamdulillah, this is the day that I have to be, it's mandatory to be happy, must be happy. But then the second day is like, I could go to open houses, but then I feel like, but it's not my family. It's someone's family, and they're taking me in. But there was still that loneliness of being with people, but still lonely. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I was grateful, of course, very grateful, very happy in a way to be there, but that loneliness was still there. And so the first Ramadan, and actually the first few Ramadans were like that. I broke fast a lot, alone a lot. And then Eid, Hari Raya was, first day was okay, but then the time after that sometimes would be very lonely. So I fixed it, and this is how I fixed it. So first day,
I want to know, really want to know, how do you fix that?
So of course the first day of Eid is okay, because mandatory, must be happy. It's a command from Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But then after that, I actually have a habit now of finding new Muslims who have nowhere to go, or born Muslims who are not really orphans, but they can't go home or they don't have someone. So I would gather everyone together because we're all kind of in the same boat. So I just feel like if I feel lonely, they must feel lonely too. So at least we will be together. And we know each other's experience. So it's not so bad. It actually felt better because every single person had the same feeling. So because we have the same feeling, we understood the feeling, then it didn't feel so alone. Yeah.
MashaAllah. You fix it very effectively. Those with the same so-called problem. So in such a way, in this Arabic term, we call it as al-bala idha amma khafa. Difficulty, when we face it together, it become very easy to face. All right. Now, most importantly, why out of all the countries, you were born in the US, you were from Thailand, But why Malaysia? What makes you fall in love in Malaysia?
It wasn't my choice. It was Allah's choice. That's my best
Subhanallah.
answer. I was just like any typical American, and it's terrible. I didn't know where Malaysia was. I didn't know what Malaysia looked like. I didn't know anything about Malaysia, except for there was only one thing that I knew about Malaysia, actually, because my parents told me that the Malaysian Airlines hostesses were really pretty. That's the only
Really?
thing.
Alhamdulillah.
That was the only thing that I knew about Malaysia. And I'm so sorry to all of my wonderful Malaysian supporters, but this is just the truth. And now I know you and I know the country and I've been living here. So alhamdulillah. But yeah, so Allah chose Malaysia. And how he chose Malaysia is that, like I was telling you guys, I was doing TV commercials, and I was actually selected as one of the cast for a big commercial, and it was being filmed in Malaysia. So 5 different talents from 5 different countries flew in to shoot this commercial. And alhamdulillah, because I spoke English well, the director and the DP, and they were all like, how come you don't just stay, Aliza? I mean, you have this pan-Asian look that is very popular in Malaysia and in the region right now. So, I mean, and of course, I considered it seriously because in Thailand, I had done almost everything already. I've done the TV commercials, I've done the pageants, I've done the TV dramas. I was in those crazy Thai TV dramas even. So I was already doing a lot of things, and I thought, oh yeah, maybe it's time to go to another market. So yeah, so when they invited me and I landed a reality show here, I thought, okay, I'll go. And I mean, I came in basically history after that. One thing led to another, and Malaysia became my home until now. And Allah put the interest of Islam into my life, and here I am. Yeah.
And what do you think about Malaysian, especially the Muslims? The food, for example.
The food. Okay, well, Malaysia has, of course, wonderful food. My favorite food is actually from Malacca. I love Malacca food. I love it. I know people are from Penang, but I'm so sorry, people from Penang. I love your food too, but somehow the food in Malacca is just, it's nice to me. I just really like it.
So to all Malaccans, congratulations.
So yeah, I really like it. And of course, the people in Malaysia are very kind and so friendly. I mean, I remember even like when I first became Muslim, and I think people were starting to interview me here. And I remember I went shopping at Jalantar, and I was trying to find a juba or something, because I needed to change my wardrobe. And there was this auntie that came, and she was with her daughter, I think. She came up to me and she was speaking in very fast BM. And then she gave me kisses. She kissed my cheek. It's like, oh, you're so cute. And I was like, oh, okay. So everyone's so friendly and kind and nice and warm and welcoming, right? So it's been really nice here. I do have to say that Malaysia has a much slower pace in life, which at first when I got here, I was like, wow, it's a very slow pace in life. It's much slower than Bangkok, much slower than Boston. But I got used to it, and I found beauty in it. I found beauty in not rushing. I found beauty in taking my time. So yeah, so there were some adjustments, but Malaysia has definitely grown on me. I mean, I'm still here, so.
Yeah, obviously. There's a comment here from among the viewers. Muhammad Faisal Abdul Aziz, he said that Aliza bila-bila mai Penang, mai nak belanja nasi kandar. Yeah.
I understood.
You understood, right?
Okay,
That's
you
good.
can buy me nasi kandar. I know
And
they're
there's
famous.
another,
Okay, to
Abu
Kelantan.
Muaz. Yeah, invite her to Kelantan. Klate, we mention it. We pronounce it in Klate.
Kelantan. But in Kelantan, I can speak Thai, isn't it? So easy for me.
Yeah. All right. Roslina said, we love you, Aliza.
Love
Alhamdulillah.
you back. Alhamdulillah. Love.
Another viewer is from Sarawak. Let's see. once again. Hamidah datang Sarawak. Have you been to Sarawak or Sabah before?
Yes, I have. Beautiful.
Oh, Alhamdulillah. Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
So now let's continue with a simple game before we sum up our discussion. All right, because I heard that you are learning Malay language right now, right? In the progress of studying Malay language, right? So
Yes.
let's test your understanding of Malay language. All right. Okay. I will show you a word in English. So you should translate it in Malay. All right. A very simple word. All right. Word number 1. Where do you stay in Malay?
I thought you're supposed to give me in Malay and then I read it.
That one is another level.
Where do you stay? I don't think I learned it. Oh no, I did learn this, but I forgot. Can you teach me? Tell me one more time.
Okay, you remember this? Okay, try to memorize it. Awak tinggal di mana?
Awak tinggal di mana? Di mana?
Correct. All right. Di mana is where, all right?
Okay.
Okay. Second word. My favorite food is, so you name any Malaysian food that you love. For example, just now, the Malaccan food, but mention it in Malay. My favorite food is...
I don't know how to say favorite. I only know how to say I like to eat such and such.
Can. You can say it in your words.
Okay. Saya suka makan rendang.
All right. You sound very Malay. MashaAllah. All right. Okay. Next word. I think this is a little bit difficult, but you can try. Saya suka membeli belah di... all right. You understand? Can you translate it in English? Saya suka membeli belah di, and you shall name any favorite shopping mall.
Okay. I like to go shopping. Membeli is shopping at. Okay. Saya suka membeli belah di... I don't know, the one close to me, One Utama.
All right. Okay, congratulations. Okay, these 3 questions are very easy. Let's go to a more challenging question, which is the next level. I will show you a word in Kelantan, so you must read it and pronounce it in Kelantan, all right?
Okay.
The first word, all right? It is shown on the screen. Try to read it and pronounce it in Kelantan language.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so terrible.
Try your best.
Demo suko maki kapo.
Okay. All right. The viewers can give Aliza how many points? 1 to 10. Try to follow me, all right? Demo suko make gapo.
Kapo.
So altogether, demo suko make gapo. Can you try?
Demo suko make kapo.
Okay, good. Okay, next word. The meaning is, what do you love to eat? All right.
Okay.
That's the meaning of demo suko make gapo. Totally different compared to a standard Malay language. Demo suko make gapo means, what do you love to eat?
Okay, so suko is suka, make is makan.
Correct. Gapo means apa? Demo means you.
Oh. Okay.
If saya kawe.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, next word before we go to the final word, all right? All right, this word you try to pronounce, all right? It's a little bit longer, a little bit challenging.
A little bit longer is a lot longer. Double. Oh my gosh. Demo no kilah kwano. Kawen no kikate.
Good. You sound Kelantan a little bit. Right? Right. You try to follow me, okay? All right?
Okay.
Demo no gi.
Demo no gi.
Lahquano.
Lakwano.
Kawe no gi.
Gawe no gi.
Gete.
Kete.
What does it mean? It means that where do you want to go? Demo nak pergi Lakuano, awak nak pergi mana, kan? Kawan nak pergi Getek, maknanya saya nak ikut juga. Getek means juga.
Okay.
Okay, last word, all right, before we sum up our discussion. This is much more challenging, all right? Good luck.
Okay, wait. The C there is ch, right?
Ch, yeah, correct. Ch.
Cubo tra tes lagu mano sedak ko dop kue ako tier.
All right. I read first, all right? You just try to listen, all right? Acu cuba terateh lagu mana sedap kau dok kuih akak te.
Always
Ter means to, itu sebenarnya. Actually, ter means to itu.
Itu.
Yeah, correct. So you try to follow me, okay?
Okay.
Acu cuba tra
Acu cubo tra.
teh lagu mana.
Oh, it's just teh. It's not even tes.
No, you have to pronounce teh lagu mana.
Teh lagu mano
Sedap kau dok
sedak kodok
kuih akak te.
kue aku ter.
All right. Congratulations. All right. So all viewers, you can give what marks that you can give to Aliza, either around 1 to 10. All right. Okay. Let's see how many marks that you will get.
I'm all red.
But you sound good, Aliza. Don't worry. You sound good. Let's see how much. All right. This one, Nur Farahin, 10 out of 10 for cuteness.
Alhamdulillah.
Your friend here, Odading, said, so cute lah, Mioma Aliza Kim.
Alhamdulillah.
All right. My God, you get 1,000 marks, mashallah. 10 out of 10, my God.
We will.
You become excellent with flying colors, mashallah.
For effort. I think it's for effort.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. All right, Aliza, before we end up our discussion, what is your hope? What is your dream in life? Where you're going to be within 10 years from now? And what are your hope to all Muslim in Malaysia? Please, Aliza, share your thoughts.
Oh, this is one of those like questions that you get on those like job interviews that you don't know how to answer.
Yeah. Good luck.
Alhamdulillah, in that next 5 to 10 years, inshallah, I hope that Allah will still allow me to speak about Islam, because I think that is, I feel like that this is my passion and also my calling to be able to explain about the concepts in Islam in a way that new Muslims and also people who are looking into Islam, so non-Muslims, are able to digest. I think I found a way to speak about it in a very modern way, in a very relatable way, with normal language like this. So I hope that I'll be able to be one of those brave people who go out into the world, not just in Malaysia, but actually into other countries somehow to, spread the values of Islam. I'm not a ustada, I'm not a sheikha, I'm not anything like that. I'm just a sister who loves to share about Islam. So the least that I can do is to bring the values of Islam into the world and show people that the Muslims are a wonderful group of people, and really personify for them what a modern new Muslim looks like, not what is in the media, not even what they see from scholars who, we understand our scholars because we have some knowledge already. We can understand the concepts. For a lot of people who are looking in, they don't understand and they need a different kind of explanation. So I hope that I can be someone who can do that without judgment of any kind, to just be a bridge of sharing. So I hope that I can continue to do that and kind of hone my skill in doing that. So that's that part. The hope for the Malaysian Muslims is I hope that many of you will become more vocal, because one of the stories that I read before becoming a Muslim, I was given this book called Conversion Stories. So this is before YouTube and all that. So these kinds of books stories of the reverts at that time, and one of the stories that I read that made me cry was about a Christian woman, because it related to me so much. A Christian woman, so I was Christian, who was living in Oklahoma. I was born in Oklahoma, who was actually brought to Islam. She became a Muslim because of the Malaysian students who were there. And of course, I'm in Malaysia now. So the impact of Malaysian students, especially, but Malaysians in general, because of your generosity. And of course, also, you can't discount your ability to speak English. These skills are really important. And I believe that the Muslims in Malaysia, because of your softness, your friendliness, your kindness, this can be a beautiful example going into the world. So I hope, if you're not vocal, you're not great at talking, it's okay. Maybe you're someone who can repost something on your social media. You can just influence your own friends and your own families, and in that way it will be a ripple effect. If we can, positively impact one person, they could maybe talk to two people, and they could talk to two people. And then after, there's so many people who kind of begin to understand the Muslims and begin to, understand Islam more in a positive way. So that's what. Alhamdulillah.
So to all of you viewers, you want to know more about Aliza Kim, you can follow her on Instagram, which is Aliza Kim, obviously. Facebook also Aliza Kim, and your YouTube channel is also Aliza Kim, right?
Yeah, Facebook is official Aliza Kim actually, but Instagram and YouTube is just Aliza Kim. Yeah.
All right. So Facebook official Aliza Kim, YouTube and Instagram Aliza Kim. All right. So Aliza, one thing that we can ensure to you, which I believe all viewers can agree with me, is that don't worry, you are not alone, because all of us are your family, all of us are your brothers and sisters. And if you have any problem, do let us know. We will try our best to help you, all right? So I may not be a Liverpool fan, but I just want to tell you a slogan, which is you are not alone. Because you are our sister in Islam, inshallah. So I believe all of us in this live today will agree with me, all right? Okay, so I hope you will be everything will go okay for you, especially Ramadan is around the corner. What's your preparation?
No real preparation this year. It's just the intention. I hope that I can do we're going to be at home again this year, inshallah. And so I hope that I can actually hone in on some skills. I can memorize some more short surah, and really dedicate. We're just at home now, right? There's not as much distraction as going out to work and all these things. So I hope that I can be more dedicated and think about Allah a lot more in every small way, brushing my teeth, feeding my cats. All these things can be an act of worship, right? Depending on how you set your intention.
MashaAllah. Aliza, may Allah bless you. Thank you very much for being my guest tonight. All right. So keep in touch and take care.
Jazakallah khair. And Amin to all of the du'as that everyone has been writing for me. I'm reading them. That's why my eyes keep going this way. I thank you so much for all the du'as. Amin. Wa alaikum salam to everyone who said assalamu alaikum to me, and hi to everyone who said hi. Yeah, and I hope to be able to continue conversing with you through my content, inshallah. Thank you so much for having me, Amin. You've been a great friend through the years, actually. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, it's been 8 years, is it? 5 years?
Yes,
I couldn't recall.
You were one of the first shows that I landed myself in was Assalamu Alaikum back then, when you were still with Hijrah. So yeah, it's been 8 years now. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. What a great friendship. So take care, Aliza. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Good night, everyone.
Itu dia Aliza Kim. Terima kasih kepada anda semua kerana sudi memberikan doa yang baik-baik. Dan kita sebagai orang Islam, bila ada mereka yang memeluk Islam, kita berikan sokongan moral pada mereka. Kita berikan apalagi bantuan pada mereka. Jangan kita judge mereka. Kadang-kadang mereka akan buat silap. Itu biasa. Dan paling penting, apabila kita berhijrah, tak kiralah orang biasa ke, public figure ke, selebriti, artis dan sebagainya, isilah hijrah kita dengan ilmu. Bukannya kita pergi bantai orang sana, bercakap perkara yang di luar daripada bidang ilmu kita, yang akhirnya merosakkan hijrah kita. Contohi Aliza Kim, beliau bukan setakat ada double degree, ada master degree, malah sama lagi diploma dalam pengajian Islam. Semata-mata untuk dia memahami Islam, insya-Allah. Jadi, sebagai penutup, mari kita renung satu hadis Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi sebut al-ilmu bit-ta'allum wal fiqhu bit-tafaqquh. Wa may yuridillahu bihi khaira yufaqihu fid-din. Maksudnya, ilmu kita dapat adalah dengan kita belajar, kita mengetahui, tetapi kefahaman diperolehi dengan kefakihan. Dan barang siapa yang Allah kehendakkan kebaikan ke atas mereka, Allah akan berikan kefahaman yang mendalam tentang agama. Teruskan belajar dan jangan kita menghukum orang, dan insya-Allah dengan pelajaran kita, dengan ilmu kita, kita akan berdakwah dengan ilmu, bukan semangat semata-mata. Terima kasih semua kerana menonton The Amin Idris Show, dan terima kasih kerana share dan komen. Sehingga kita jumpa lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam.